kitties, to another episode of RaTG TV with your hosts, Zeus and the Wellandwingnut. And they thought I was the crazy one.
Black magic. You got to know, got to show, it's time to roll. So just tell me what you want to hear. Tell me what you want, so just tell me what you want to hear.
Welcome back, everybody. It's been a minute or two, has it not? But welcome back to another edition of RaTG TV. It's your boy Zeus, and joining me as he does every week, it's the Wellandwingnut himself. How's it going, Steve?
Good, man. Yeah, it's been a couple weeks, but we've been busy. You've been busy. I've been busy.
Yeah, man. It's the way of the world. Things are moving forward and quickly. We had Frightmare a couple weeks ago, and I've had a couple acting gigs going on and some wrestling shows.
And I got to do something pretty cool. I was in Toronto for Jim Jeffries' next Netflix special.
Nice. How'd that go? How'd you like it?
I'm not going to give away too much, but I had my chance. I had my chance to kind of make my mark on his special. And everyone was told before the special, obviously, we're taping this for Netflix. Please, keep your comments, to zero, basically. And if you have to get up, you have to get up, but try not to. And he told a couple stories. One where he yelled out something inappropriate at the most inappropriate time. And then later on, I thought, oh, man, this would be the perfect time to yell that again. And I didn't. I was like, no, I don't. It's kind of early and I don't want to get thrown out. And then near the end of the special, he does another, kind of joke where he comes in back into it. And he's like, and that was your opportunity to yell it. And I was like, damn it. Damn it.
You missed it. You bloody well missed it. I used to like Canadians. I can't even do it.
But it was good. He talked about Dave Chappelle and he talked about Ricky Gervais and the recent controversies in their specials, considering the LGBTQ community, and then proceeded to say that he likes publicity too. And
well played, Jim. Well played. Well, that's good, buddy. That's good. I wanted to go, but geez, man, just at the time when the tickets were on sale, we had just spent a lot of money on a lot of stuff at that point because we had done Fan Expo, and I feel like something else. I don't know, but glad you had fun, and hopefully your mug or Facebook user 34672's mug made it into the special. But as you can see, though, it's a bit of a you'd think it's a happy day because we've got all these cartoon characters behind us. But the reason why we have that is because you and I are doing our top 5 favorite voice actors of all time. And the reason we're doing that is because we lost an absolute legend, the quintessential voice of Batman. You can see him right there, Kevin Conroy. He's that one Batman that no matter who you are, you're like, who's the best Batman? And if someone says Kevin Conroy, you're going to go, well, he's definitely the best voice Batman. And when I read the comic books, that's the voice I hear. It's the same voice that we got in all the Batman Arkham games. I don't know if you played any of those.
I think I played one. Yeah.
Yeah. They're like GTA, but with, a little bit.
Yeah. It's an open world concept, kind of. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, definitely open world concept. And, having him play Batman in those was awesome. And him and Mark Hamill's Joker, those two, the bond they have and the love, man, that was a tough one to lose. Like this Batman series right here, this started when we were teenagers. Like this has been on that guy's been Batman since we were teenagers. Like a lot of us are like, Michael Keaton's our Batman because, the Batman. But this guy was the guy. He was the dude. So yeah. Luke Tuff says Ricky Gervais is awesome. Don't get pissed off. Groups, it's a joke. Get over it. Millennials, it's a joke. I mean, there is some to that, but there's also a point with comedians, it's different, right? You're on stage, and you're there to make jokes. Like I wasn't a huge Andrew Dice Clay fan because he's bully comics, but you know, I understood it was comedy, right? So, but yeah, the part is when people say it's comedy in real life, where they start telling the jokes to somebody's face or whatever around other people. Go, oh, well, it's just a joke. Take it easy.
Yeah.
Like, no, man, no, you're not a comedian. You're not a stand-up comedian. This isn't like if you're on stage, fine. In real life, you know, words have consequences. You know, and the consequences sometimes is 5 across the nose. So, but yeah, I love Ricky Gervais though. I think Ricky Gervais is great. And I shouldn't say I love Chappelle. I really loved early Chappelle, and I'm not trying to sound like the people that are hating on him now that are the woke community. I don't mean that. I just mean
he has gotten preachy.
He really has. Like so that first comeback special on Netflix where he did the back-to-back ones.
Right. One of them.
This one was great.
Yeah.
The second one where he's just sitting there smoking and bitching the entire time. I was like, wow, this is all right. I mean, okay. He's a man, but shit. Don't get political, Ryan. We're Gen Xers. Who's getting and that's another thing. Stop saying we're getting political with shit when we're just talking. Because I didn't even mention Trump. Or no, you're in Britain, so I didn't even mention what's her name? Truss. The lady that couldn't outlast the lettuce. Did you see that?
No.
So they had a prime minister that came in after Boris, you know, big-haired Boris.
Mm-hmm.
I think that Boris Johnson. And they had Liz Truss come in. And the people were so against her. Someone made a Twitter poll that was like, can Liz Truss be the prime minister longer than a head of lettuce? And she was out after 45 days and the head of lettuce was still going. Oh, yeah. So good times. So yes, our British fans, yes. Chappelle has got weird. It's like he gets with the kids. It's like, let's get with the kids. I don't get it. But yes, it did get a little weird. Yeah. Anyway, so we got a little sidetracked there, but yeah. So there was that, and then of course you had we had Frightmare in the Falls. I was only able to go the first night, but you were able to sub in and fucking host a lot of panels. How'd that go?
Good. Yeah, we were both there Friday night. You had a good one.
Yeah, man. That dude is
Canadian
awesome.
boy.
Yeah. Lachlan Monroe. That dude is a dude. He's a Canadian, and he was so down to earth. And just, I mean, he took his time to talk to everybody. Like we did our panel, we had a great time. And then after the panel was over, and he's walking back, he's like, because he had to go back and sign autographs and make money. But he just kept stopping and talking to everybody. Like, I mean, I was back to his table way before he was. And this dude knows everybody. So he was in James Gunn Peacemaker. He told a lot of great stories about him and James Gunn and about some of the projects he's worked on. And they talked about, so did you watch Peacemaker?
I don't think I finished the whole first season, but I watched most of it.
So the one character, and I forget his name, but he's got an African name, Chukwi. Anyways, he was the main cop, the main Suicide Squad cop that was running the Peace Mass. Anyways, he's going to be the High Evolutionary in Guardians of the Galaxy 3, which is a huge role. Originally, though, who did he say? They had Gary Oldman for it. James Gunn was going to have Gary Oldman play it. And then he was like, no, I want to get someone who's not as well known. He's like, you know, it's good having that big name, but sometimes that takes away from the story. And this is the final Guardians of the Galaxy story for James Gunn, right? So, yeah, that was cool. We got a nice little scoop there.
Yeah, he's I didn't really get to see the floor much Saturday, but after everybody was pretty much gone and there wasn't too many people there, I went to his table and got to chat with him for a bit. And yeah, just super nice guy.
Yeah, man, super good guy. And then what do you have?
Yeah, Friday I had horror legend Michael Berryman. Met him before, but this guy, he's such he comes from 5 generations of doctors.
Oh.
Like this guy's he's a smart man. If you don't know his story, he's his doctor was actually a naval surgeon, or his dad was a naval surgeon in Hiroshima. Came back with radioactive sperm, basically, and Michael Berryman, unfortunately, born with no body hair, no nails, a few deformations, but I mean, really made his career. He had no intention of getting into acting. He was spotted by George Pal just on the boardwalk in I think Santa Monica, and I mean, the first 3 directors he worked with was science fiction legend George Pal, Milos Forman on One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, and Wes Craven in The Hills Have Eyes. Like, how lucky was he?
Right.
Yeah.
And I'll always remember him just from Weird Science.
Right.
The most.
Facebook user finally got to meet Tig. Another great guy, Kim Coates.
Coates is a great guy.
Yeah, and we both kind of said, arguably probably the biggest star at Frightmare this weekend. But this was a horror con. So, I mean, there was, I think, about 15 people at his panel. Bill Moseley, there was people that didn't even get in. It was standing room only.
Wow.
Yeah. So
that's crazy.
But, Marky Ramone, really cool. A friend of ours was actually the volunteer, the celebrity liaison outside the panels. And she came up to me after Marky's panel and says, Lambert, come here. She's like, Marky came out and said, that was really fun. I don't usually like doing these things, but that guy knew his shit. Nice. And I was just like, from Marky Ramone, that feels pretty good.
Right on. Fucking good, man.
Oh, God, I'm blanking on his name right now. From Shawshank Redemption. He played Boggs. He was in Aliens.
Yeah. He was the leader of the Queens.
Yeah. Great guy. We talked about a lot of things. We talked about Shawshank, obviously. He said that everybody always says Tom Hanks is the nicest guy in Hollywood. And he's a nice guy, but Bill fucking Paxton.
Oh, yeah.
He told some great Bill Paxton stories. Like an asshole. I mentioned fucking from Murder, She Wrote. Angela Lansbury had just passed a week prior. I brought up the fact that he was in 3 episodes of Murder, She Wrote, and he started tearing up.
Oh, shit.
He was really close with Angela Lansbury, and she was instrumental in his career early on, and he was friends with her until the day he died. So that was really cool.
Nice, man. Those are good moments when you get those.
Yeah. Cobra Star, and but did a bunch of stuff. If you saw Life Stinks,
Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat. He played a really creepy fucking role in Joe Dirt.
Yeah, I remember him in Cobra. That's where I remember him the most.
Yeah, obviously, yeah. Pig, come on, Pig. Yeah. And like I said, standing room only for Bill Moseley. So that was pretty cool. We talked about, obviously Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I brought up his band, and I asked for a show of hands if anybody had heard his band, and I think there was like maybe 3 hands in a standing room only room. So. Yeah, hopefully a lot of people go check out Spider Mountain.
Nice. Well, that's all right, brother. Sounds good. Sounds like you rocked it. I knew you would, though. Like that's why I told Ponce. I'm like, fuck, just have Steve do these panels. These, like especially horror movies, like the comic panels. That makes sense for me to host those, or just even the pure entertainment ones. Like I know those ones, but the horror stuff, like that's your forte, man. Well, I'm glad you had a good time. Luke Tuff, though. Big one here. We're talking about Liz Truss, the PM. I should have read this first.
Probably.
Liz Truss was a C word, and Ricci is worse. I'm like, give us general. I'll put it up. Anyways, general effort for fuck's sakes. Labor is the way forward. That way, the Scottish National Party will get more seats. Then they'll get independence, and then we'll be back to Edward the Confessor times, and it'll be Braveheart freedom times as the English kill their idiots like Billy Connolly. I mean, that's a lot. Have we been drinking yet tonight, Luke?
He may have messaged me earlier.
Yeah.
And said he was into some whiskey.
Nice. My mom said Angela was my kid crush. Bedknobs, Murder, She Wrote, Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris, etc. Yeah. She was great. And Not the only one with whiskey tonight.
Nice.
Just saying. He's not the only one, Lukey. We're here with you, buddy. So yeah, there you go. And we haven't even got into the show yet. Yep, drunk as fuck. Okay, well, just for Luke because he is drunk as fuck. Little shout out to Clanny. Everybody's favorite mascot, Clanny. He's the clan shark. He's coming to your neighborhood. Looking for
Who is it?
fish.
Clan Shark. Oh, wait, no.
No. What was that again?
That was Chevy Chase on Saturday Night Live.
No, I know, but what did he say? That what was it?
It was Land Shark.
Oh, Land Shark.
Yeah, Land
That's
Shark.
right. I'm like, I think it was Clan Shark. Tuning in late. What's the topic tonight, guys? Topic tonight is top 5, or at least our top 5 favorite voice actors of all time. A salute to the late, great, and recently departed Kevin Conroy. Clanny, Jason Blub didn't even respond to my script. He's a busy man.
On the list now, though.
Yeah, you may be on the list. You might be you're in Sheldon territory now, getting blocked. I am sorry. I'm so trying to pay attention, but the Wolverines are just having a fantastic season right now. Ranked number 3 overall, winning 24. I mean, it's so crazy to think that right now we're ranked number 3 and Nebraska's not even ranked. Like they're 3 and 6. It's 3 and 6. It's crazy. Yeah. Like what a world we live in now. Sorry to go off on sports balls there for everybody. So yeah, that's what we're talking about today. We are going to rank our top 5, Steve and I, our favorite voice actors of all time in honor of Kevin Conroy. I do want to put it out there. I know how ironic this is going to be that neither one of us actually have Kevin Conroy in our top 5.
Yeah, well.
But that's because Kevin Conroy is known for one voice. So as much as I want to put him up there as an honor to him, and if we're talking like greatest people to play, if we're talking the best people to ever play Batman, he might be the number 1 guy. Like that's unarguable. Just because, you know, if you're going live action and animated, he's the dude. No one's played Batman and Bruce Wayne better. I know it's only been animated, but and thank God, like this makes me so happy that in the CW universe, the TV show where they were doing all the DC shows, they did a Crisis on Infinite Earths where they brought in like anyone who they could find. Like Tom Welling came back as Superman, and they had Brandon Routh playing his old Superman, and they had Ezra Miller's Flash actually showed up there, the Teen Titans, all that shit. And Kevin Conroy was there as fucking the Dark Knight, like old Batman, which was fucking dope. So the dude actually got to play a live action version of him. And I think the first and only openly gay man to play Batman. So, I mean, the dude was the dude. I'm definitely on his list. Don't swear at someone you wanted to talk to. Yeah, he was the best Batman. Didn't matter the animation style was. His voice made the character. Though the animated series was the absolute best. Yeah, it was. Absolutely. David Attenborough, every time I think of an animal, it's got his voice. Yeah. And, yeah. I'm starting to get that way with Stephen Fry as well, though. Because Stephen Fry is a great narrator. He's my David Attenborough. But with all that in mind, why don't we just get to it? As always, folks, if you want to let us know who your favorite voice actors of all time are, let us know in the comments. Steve and I will put them up throughout the show and even throughout our rankings, and we'll go from there. Even though I think the Wolverines just fumbled it outside of the end zone. So, Steve, why don't you, as usual, you get us started, buddy?
All right. Well,
yes, we do.
Yes.
Sorry. Yes,
yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, for sure.
We count James.
This first one, Gray Delisle, known for so many roles. Fairly Odd Parents, which my kids watched. She played Vicky, Danny Phantom. She's played Daphne Blake, of course, from Scooby-Doo. She's voiced Catwoman, 1,950 different character roles, nearly 600 more than number 2 for women voice roles.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, and I know her and I recognize her face, but I didn't know all those roles that she had been in.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
hardworking lady.
Yeah, like a lot of them.
Yeah. Number 2, I just love this guy and everything. I love him as an actor. I love him as a voiceover guy. I loved his series where he played the very drunk baseball announcer, which I'm forgetting the name of, but it was really good. Hank Azaria, known for so many voices, especially on The Simpsons. Moe, Chief Wiggum, Snake, comic book guy, the late great Apu. I guess depending on how you feel about Apu. And you know what? Speaking of Apu, does he still do Bumblebee guy? Because does not that kind of fall into the same?
I don't think he does any of them. I think he only does Moe and a couple newer characters.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah, great voice actor. We got a chance to meet this guy at the last Niagara Falls Comic-Con. Super nice guy. And when you hear the voice, it's just such a legendary voice. You know, he does so many video game characters, but of course, Mario being the most well-known, the great Charles Martinet.
It's a Mario. Speaking of Mario, I went to go see the Black Panther with my family, with my son and my youngest daughter. And they played the trailer that will be.
That's how it ties in. I was like, speaking of Mario, Black Panther.
Well, they played the trailer for the new Mario movie. We've seen a teaser one, and we got to hear Jack Black's voice a lot. We're doing this one as well, but we didn't.
And he's Bowser.
Yeah, and we didn't get to hear too much from Chris Pratt from his Mario. This one we do. He puts like a slight. It's a Mario on it, but it's oh my god, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I almost wish they would have just went with Charles Martinet. Like, why not? That's the voice we know. Yeah. You think people wouldn't go just because they had him as the voice,
right?
And you still had Jack Black as Bowser because that didn't matter. That's just my opinion, though. Anyways, what are you saying?
Yeah, number 2, this guy has over 5,000 movie trailer voiceovers, hundreds of thousands of commercials, video game roles. Don LaFontaine, of course, the movie trailer guy.
Oh, the movie trailer guy. We learned about him in school.
Did you?
Yeah, when I went back for broadcasting.
Nice. Yeah, the guy, like anytime we went to the movies in the 80s and movie trailer guy's voice came on, you thought, oh man, this is going to be a good one, right? In a place.
Yeah. Out in the woods. You thought it was going to be a good day. It turned out it was going to be a long summer's night. It's John Travolta and Christy Swanson in What Is That Old Dude Doing with That Young Chick? A Scientology project. Sorry.
Soon to it. Here you.
There you go. Troy Baker, Luke Tuff says, as well as Mark Hamill. Nice switch. Black Panther to Mario. Right? Christopher Judge. I didn't even think of Christopher, but Christopher Judge only does Kratos as far as I know. Well, he does other stuff, but I only know Kratos and Stargate. Like I love Stargate. Sorry, go ahead, Steve.
Yeah, no, and my number one, just the voice of our childhood, even though a lot of those cartoons were made before we were even born, they were just, we only had 13 channels. It was on all the time, you know. Mel Blanc voiced our childhood. Bugs Bunny, Daffy, Elmer, Yosemite Sam, Foghorn Leghorn, Speedy Gonzales, Pepe, Marvin Martian, Tweety, Woody Woodpecker, Heathcliff the Cat. Just so many great roles.
And so much more, too. He's like the man of 1,000 voices. He was going to be my number one. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah. Hard to not have him on one of our number ones for sure. Unfortunately, he started smoking at the age of 9, smoked a pack a day till he was 77 years old.
Well, there you go, kids. If you want to live to be 77.
Right. Developed emphysema, checked into the hospital with just a cough, and unfortunately, a few months later, he was gone. So,
Damn. Well, I mean, it's hard to argue that one. A great one. Like, and to think back in the day too, he would go from Bugs Bunny to Daffy Duck because he did both the voices. So that in its own is fucking, because it wasn't like they would cut and then like patch it together. They didn't have Adobe Audition or anything like that to fucking patch it. He had to just switch back and forth. Do you remember the episode where Bugs was impersonating Daffy Duck and Daffy Duck was impersonating Bugs Bunny? So Daffy was doing a Bugs Bunny impersonation, but it was Daffy Duck's voice. Going, yeah, what's up? What's up? And then the fact that he could do that though, and then switch back and forth between the two as they argue. I mean, I want to find it just so I can put it out there for people, because that is literally the best voice acting thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, that dude was the dude. Exactly. Hospitals are bad, kids. Drugs are bad. And cigarettes are a drug.
It's no joke. Don't smoke.
Right.
Cigarettes.
Right. And contrary to popular belief, you know what else isn't a joke? 911.
This is true.
Well, it depends on your town.
Right.
I got you. I fucking got you.
Yeah.
Here's my quick list from Greg Switzer. H. John Benjamin Peter Cull. H. John Benjamin Archer. Another one, and I get him. He's got that and Bob's Burger, which are two huge ones for H.
Still
John.
hard, dude.
But those are the two that I fucking put him with the most. Like, I don't know any others that he really does. Peter Cullen, same deal. And I've interviewed Peter Cullen and Frank Welker at the same time. The voice of Optimus Prime and Megatron. But Peter Cullen, all you know him for is Optimus Prime. Like he may have done other roles, but even when he does the other role, you're like, oh, it's Optimus Prime. You know? When Frank Welker does Fred, he doesn't sound the same as he does when he does Scooby-Doo or when he does Megatron or where he does any of the other millions of voices that we know him for. So, and I'm not shitting on your list at all, because I love all of them. I know it sounds like it, but I'm just being me, nitpicky and fucking devil's advocate. There goes Steve. And Phil Hartman, like Steve said, Phil Hartman's the fucking bomb. I'm all with you on that one.
Yeah, just a great guy, great actor.
Don't phone 911, kids. It's a joke in your town.
And not a story I have, but a Canadian story. I think it was either Peel Regional or Halton maybe had to put out something on their social media saying that though we understand in Canada when you're having a hockey tournament, needing a Zamboni is an emergency, you can't call 911 to ask where you can rent one. It's just you can't.
Oh, I love my country so much. Yo, man, it's emergency. Listen, we're going into overtime here, and our Zamboni broke down. Fucking championships, pawn championships. Shimmy. Shinny. Takwa. All right. Why do they call it shinny?
I'm not sure, because you get the puck in the shins a lot, and you get hacked in the shins.
That's weird.
Because the ice is nice and shinny.
Hey, his Zamboni takes 10 minutes to kill someone, Deadpool said. Well, he would know. Oh, I don't have this as a story, but before we get to our top five, my top five, Ryan Reynolds wants to buy the Ottawa Senators.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got the franchise bug now after buying Wrexham. Now he's
dude, he's just got the owner bug. Never mind the franchise. He's got Mint Mobile. He's got Aviation Gin. He's got Wrexham, like you said. He has to have his own production company, right?
Yeah, I'm sure he does. Yeah.
Like The Rock's got $7 production, him and his ex-wife, which no matter what you want to say about The Rock, anybody out there, the fact that his business partner and one of his best friends in life is his ex-wife, that says a lot about his character, I think. Which is, I don't know, it's kind of cool. I don't know if I could ever do that. I don't know, just saying. All right. Would Senators get a new logo if Reynolds buys them? Him in a toga. I don't know.
The Ottawa Van Wilders.
The Ottawa Deadpools. Yeah. No, I'm all right. Okay. My number 5, jumping in. Let's go with it. I like this guy. I'm a huge video game guy too, though, and I had to put a video game person on there. And for me, my favorite video game voiceover artist, and I think probably the best in the world, next to maybe Troy Baker, is Nolan North. As you can see, he's voiced not just video game characters, but he's voiced Cyclops, Colossus, Deadpool in the Marvel. These are all the animated stuff. Sentry as well. Nathan Drake, probably the thing he's known the most for Uncharted. And Connor Kent on what I think is a great animated series from DC, Young Justice, that our buddy Jerome Moore is one of the lead artists on. Hopefully, they're going to get a season 5, but who knows with everything that's going on at HBO. Well, I met Ryan Reynolds at Wrexham. I'd say what a guy, but all he said was, "Hi, motherfucker." That wasn't Ryan Reynolds. That was actually Ryan Gosling. It happens all the time. Number 4 on my list. This one, like, these lists are so fluid. Like I say every week, I start to sound like Stephen A. Smith, but my top 5 could go in any order, honestly. But we talked about him earlier. I had the chance to interview him, and like I said, one of the voices of our generation as well, and that's Frank Welker. And I mean, just look at this list of characters that are on here, from Mr. Mixoplex from the original Justice League. Meanwhile, at the Hall of Justice.
Nice. Yeah.
He played Joker. He played Fred. He played Scooby. He played, what is the top? You see where Scooby-Doo is? Right beside him, the dog beside him that used to wear that mask.
Oh, yeah.
Danger Dog or something?
I think you might be right, yeah.
He was all Dr. Claw. I mean, he played it all. He really was.
Next time, Gadget.
Next time. He even played Brain in that. So, I mean, we've heard him in everything, and he's still working today. And I absolutely love him. Love that I had the opportunity to interview him as well. Really, really great guy. He and Peter Cullen both. So, love to do it again. Up next on my list, another voice from our childhood, and I think he had to go here as well. This was our early childhood, leading into still working today, but that's Jim Cummings. Now, Jim, you know him as Tigger, you know him as Monterey Jack from Chip and Dale, the Rescue Rangers. He's had parts in Aladdin. He is Darkwing Duck. He's Winnie the Pooh. He's the grandpa, on the Gummy Bears, and he's Hondo in fucking Star Wars, the Clone Wars. So, which is great. Great guy, great voice actor, and definitely needs to be on this list. Now for my top 2. This was tough, man. Like, these two, I love both these actors, and this is nothing against, like, they're honestly both number 1 in my list. So 1A and 1B, we'll say 1B at this point for argument's sake. Canadian. And the first time I saw this actor was in the movie National Lampoon Senior Trip. You ever see that?
Yeah, love that.
Judy Renner, yeah. She played the trashy one, the kind of floozy. You remember which one I was talking about?
I actually watched it probably, I'm going to say 5 or 6 months ago. Amber had never seen it.
Oh, no way. And Red's dead.
Yeah.
Well, I'm talking about Toronto's own Tara Strong. And I mean, she has voiced everything. She is Powerpuff Girls. She is Fairly Odd Parents, Rugrats. She has been Harley Quinn. She has been, oh my God, just look on this list. Everybody that's there. She's been X-23, Black Cat, Squirrel Girl, Betty Boop, Raven. She is Raven. She's the voice of Ben 10. She's Ben. And she's Pickles in Rugrats. For those of you that never or don't remember that, she's Batgirl. I mean, Rogue, Kitty Pryde, you name it. She's been in it, and a bunch of stuff I haven't seen. But she is just like she's at the top. If there is a Mount Rushmore, she has got to be on it. Like honestly, she is definitely by far the greatest female voice actor in the world. But that doesn't mean she's not. That doesn't even mean she's not even close to. Like I didn't put her on the list because I had to have a girl on there. I mean, like she's
definitely the most well known for sure.
Yeah, she's awesome. But my number one, I mean, the force was just too strong with this one. Mark motherfucking Hamill. Not only is he my favorite Joker, I mean, I know I'm going with too animated here, but just from the video games to the cartoon, he perfected the psyche of what it is to be Joker, and it was just so great. He also played the prankster in the Justice League cartoons, which was funny because he played the same role in the Flash 1990 show with Wesley Shipp. He's a Hobgoblin. He's an Avatar. I mean, of course, he voices Luke Skywalker in a bunch of cartoons as well. He's been the Red Skull. I mean, just look on this Swamp Thing. The credits are endless, and I mean, I said it before. The force is strong with him. So that is my list.
I loved him on Son of a Beach.
Oh yes, me too. Dino Mutt. Thank you. Dino Mutt.
You're close. Dynamite is dangerous.
Dill Pickles. Jordan James. What's up, buddy? Who did Lionel in Thundercats? I don't know. You'll have to look that up and let me know. Jack Mercer for Popeye, I think. Dill Pickles. Oh, Pickles. Yeah, that was Tara Strong. Loved Rugrats. Chucky was my fave. Shane, he went on to the horror scene. Chucky then went on to the horror scene. Shame. I know a bloke who mentioned Mark Hamill earlier, right? Well, we're both drinking whiskey. That's why. What about some of the celebs like Don Adams as Inspector Gadget, Casey Kasem as Robin?
Casey Kasem almost made my list. Yeah.
Casey?
Yeah.
Yeah. Ted Knight and all those old DC cartoons and I didn't know that about Ted Knight until honestly like the last 6 months. I saw it on a random YouTube video when I was like going down the rabbit hole as we do.
You know something I learned today, and it did say that it's arguable, but the term Easter egg, you know, we've had Easter eggs in movies, Easter eggs in video games for years now. The said origin of such term is supposedly the Rocky Horror Picture Show. They had an Easter egg hunt on the set because they were filming over Easter, and not all of them were found, and you can see some of them throughout the movie.
No shit.
Yeah.
That's pretty dope. So how did they find that out? Like, or has there ever been any confirmation?
Again, the article I read today did say it was, you know, arguable, but I mean, that is, you know, if it's there, then yeah, I'd say that's a pretty cool story.
Well, I think if you or I ever get Tim Curry or Susan Sarandon for a panel, we definitely have to ask that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Tim was looking pretty rough the last time we saw him. Yeah.
It's good that he gets out though. It's probably really really good for him. So
yeah. All right. Well, there's our list there, folks. I hope you enjoyed them. Hope you like them. Keep giving us your suggestions throughout. We like them a lot. Greg says another good one is Allison Court. She did Lydia and Beetlejuice, Claire and Resident. Oh, and not only that, Allison Court was one of my first dad crushes on an actor in a show for one of my kids' shows. She played Lunette the clown and Molly and Lunette.
I knew this about you, actually.
Oh my god, dude. Oh my god. And then I found, and she was the voice of Jubilee in the X-Men cartoon as well. It was the clock thing. Dude, it was the clock. Have you ever seen Molly and Lunette? And she does the clock.
So wrong.
What? She was my age.
Yeah, she was.
She's older than I am, I think. Is it because she's a clown? That's clownish. That's clownish. That's not right either way. She didn't want to reprise the Jubilee role as she felt the character should be voiced by an Asian voice actor, and she's not Asian. Oh, that's too bad with the new X-Men show that's coming back. Oh. Well, I mean, I get it, but okay. So here's the thing with that. Why? Like, I wouldn't be upset about that. I don't know if an Asian person would, so I'm not speaking for Asian people. If there was a white person that voiced a black cartoon that I knew of growing up, I wouldn't, and then they reprised it now, like they reprised the show, I wouldn't be upset about the black person still playing that role, and I don't think anybody would. Phil Lamar, who you see right behind your head there as Samurai Jack, is a black dude, and he plays a lot of Asian characters and white characters, and it's
called
voice acting, but it's voice acting though. I get that, but on the big screen, that's different because it's a visual representation of what's in the book. So I think you should try to make it visually look as close as you can.
For sure.
I think at least there's an argument to be made. But for the fucking voices, it shouldn't matter as long as it sounds good. And if the Hank Azaria thing, I'm not Indian, so I don't know if how he's doing it sounds really off. You guys hear how my accent's when I do an Australian accent. You know,
there's that whole documentary called The Problem with Apu.
Oh yeah, I haven't seen that.
Yeah.
But it seems to me, this is why I don't like race swapping and gender swapping in any medium aside from voice acting, because, you know, it always seems to go, when it was in the movies, I would get pissed when I would see Spawn, when I watched Spawn and they changed a bunch of the black characters from the comic books to white people. Or I would watch Gods of Egypt and half the cast is white. And I'm like, how are these gods white, you know? But I would be a hypocrite if I wasn't doing the same thing when I see a white role that's being replaced by another gender or another race. Like, to me, it should be the same. It should be an even playing field. Visually, keep it looking the same as the book. Audibly, it doesn't fucking matter as long as the audible doesn't sound like an insult. And you know what I'm talking about? Like those dicks that used to make fun of Asian people and do I don't even want to say it because, you know, it get misconstrued, but you know when it's an insult on purpose. So if it's like that, then don't do it. But like if it's Mickey Rooney, don't do it.
Jerry Lewis,
don't do it. John Wayne as a Native American, like, don't do it. But yeah, black, white, red, brown, I don't get it. If someone has done a voice or a movie, what's the problem? Unless a woman does a man's role. Just kidding. No, and like I said, if you just keep it the same as the source material, there's no arguments. There's no possibility of just fighting, right? You're just, oh, okay, it's the same as it always was. And the only case where I could see that they've changed it was recently in, what was that? It was Iron Fist. Because the source material, Iron Fist is a rich white dude who learns kung fu and becomes the best martial artist, right? people were freaking out thinking he should be Asian, and I'm like, well, but he's not. Now he is in the comic book, so he can do it. But yeah, and Blazing Saddles does still rule. Sorry, I'm done going off on my soapbox there. Steve, what do you think?
Yes.
Well, no, seriously though. Like,
no, I agree. Like I said, it's to me, it's called act. But when I say it, like for visual stuff, like when they say, I say it's acting. It's like Bryan Cranston playing someone who's paraplegic or quadriplegic.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Movie, you know what I mean? It's there has to be.
Yep.
Has to be separate. There has to be lines in the sand somewhere, man.
Well, exactly. Like at what point? Like, and please don't at me. I'm not saying this to be mean to anybody, but do we get to the point where oh well, Jamie Foxx shouldn't have played Ray Charles because he's not really blind, right?
Exactly.
Like to play blind, you just have to have like for that role, especially Ray Charles, you just had to have the glasses on for most of it, right? And that's acting. You got to act. You got to listen. If I'm dying in a movie, you're not going to get somebody to really die.
We need someone who's really dying.
Can we get somebody who's
I have cancer in the movie? Okay, I have to get cancer.
Right. Yeah. Can we find someone with stage 4, please? Like, I mean, it was like Tom Hanks, though. Did you see how he came out and said that he wouldn't do Philadelphia now? Yeah, because he thinks that only a gay person should have done it. And then a bunch of people from the LGBTQ community were like, whoa. We play straight too, so like it's same deal. And that's where I come at it too. Like I said, like if it's something that's hasn't been long established, then have at it, man. Like, or if it's something like where we're talking comic books and you're not really sure what the race is and you've just always assumed the race, like have at it, whatever's close. But if you can't just change Bruce Wayne to be a black dude and and I know it's the argument everybody makes, and it's an argument that usually the right makes, and I hate being over there, but you can't have it both ways. You can't be like, well, you can't change Black Panther to have a white dude play it. I mean, you shouldn't for any of them. Just keep them. And I'm hating the ginger thing,
I'm sorry, I wrecked the Black Panther comic.
Good pull. Oh my God. By the way, what does Steve think of Nope? Come on, Blumhouse. Also, my script for Clanny was better.
Yeah, Nope.
Yeah, did you review it?
I'd say about 30 minutes into it, I was like, okay, what's going on? I'm in, I was kind of into it. And then it just takes such a bad turn. It did not pay off for me.
Oh, so it was a Nope for you.
It was a Nope. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was my review.
Yeah, I think it was as well. Wow. Yeah, well, speaking of reviews, we got your review coming up very soon. And this week, what do you got going on for your 5-second movie review, Steve?
I was back and forth because I watched a couple new movies this week. I watched Smile, which is just fucking killing it at the box office. It's over $200 million right now.
Nice.
So I'll save that one for next time. Tonight I'm going to do Weird, the Al Yankovic story.
The Al Yankovic story.
The Roku original. Daniel Radcliffe there as Weird Al. This movie had cameos coming out the yin yang.
That's what I heard.
We had Rainn Wilson as Dr. Demento, Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Wait, are you giving us a bunch of spoilers here? Because I'm going to watch this. I'm going to watch this. Are these going to be big spoilers?
Not really big spoilers, no. Gallagher was played by Paul F. Tompkins. Speaking of Gallagher, we're going to mention him in the news. Conan O'Brien is Andy Warhol.
Yeah, I heard that.
Jack Black is Wolfman Jack, and Emo Phillips is Salvador Dali.
Who is Salvador Dali?
Sorry?
Who was Dali?
Yeah, he was a famous. He was an eccentric.
No. Who played him? I know who Salvador
Emo
Dali
Phillips.
was. Who?
Emo Phillips.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he was in UHF. He was.
I know who Emo Phillips is
yeah.
as well. I'm just like, oh yeah, I could see that.
Oh yeah, for
Nice.
sure.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, and I know Dolly. Dolly's a surrealist. He had the melting clocks and all that stuff, all those pictures, all those paintings. Our buddy James Takeo was growing the Salvador Dali mustache for a while.
Yeah.
Trying to. Yeah, so that's it. You'll have that review coming up. But before that, we got to pay some bills. And if you're like us and you have to pay bills, you're probably sick of it. Like, listen, these bills are too much. Where can I save some money on some of these bills without sacrificing my luxury of life? Just look where Steve's pointing right there. Go to DocNet, docnet.ca. Tony over there has got you covered when it comes to having cheap internet in your home. Cheap internet, home or phone. Internet, home, phone. That's right. Both of them. Listen, he is going to get you the best service out there. It's going to be just like the big services that you get from all those big name companies that we can't mention or don't want to mention. But you're going to save the money. They don't pay us. That's right. But listen, they can't afford to pay us. Well, they could afford to pay us. I don't know how Tony affords to pay us because he's giving you such cheap deals here on your internet. So if you are anywhere in Ontario or throughout Canada, just give them a call just to see if they service your area. Go to docnet.ca, tell them RaTG TV sent you, and have DocNet connect your home to the world. Yo, that's it. That's the DocNet talk. Oh, we got a comment. It's from Luke. Salvador Dali not only had a strange mustache, but he also thought elephants had giraffe legs.
Right?
He had problems.
Yeah.
He did?
A lot of psychedelics.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he was from the Warhol era too, right?
Yeah.
He's still alive, Salvador Dali, or no?
No, he passed. Yeah.
How long ago?
I'm gonna say 90s.
Oh, really? Eh? I thought he was alive longer after that. Well, I'll tell you one thing. Him dying that soon, I mean, he missed out on the best segment in all of internet history, live stream history.
I mean,
Sure.
it's arguable. 89, I was close.
Oh, okay. Damn, I was not. Well, let's just move on to the next segment, which means it's time for Steve's 5-second movie review by Steve. Go Wolverines. Sorry. All right. So this week, Steve, as we just talked about, you have got for your 5-second movie review, Weird, starring Daniel Radcliffe, the Al Yankovic story. This is a parody movie. I love it. Well, folks, if you have not seen this show before, what happens in Steve's 5-second movie review, it's pretty self-explanatory. Steve gets 5 seconds. I'm going to put 5 seconds on the board. Within that 5 seconds, he's going to give you the movie review of said movie, Weird, the Al Yankovic story. Steve, are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. 5 seconds on the board. You may begin now.
The most inaccurate biographical retelling in cinematic history. And we loved it.
So weird.
It was weird.
Weird.
We watched Weird?
You didn't.
Okay. I'm like, I don't remember that.
So tell us a little bit about it without giving too much.
Yeah, I mentioned a lot of the cameos, and like I said, just killed it with the cameos for sure. The story is not accurate at all. I mean, he dates Madonna for quite a while. In real life, he had a 45-second encounter with Madonna once.
Right.
Yeah. He plays a live show for his biggest fan, the drug lord in Colombia there.
Pablo Escobar.
Pablo Escobar.
What?
So yeah, it's just messed
It's
up.
awesome, but it makes so much sense for Weird Al to have a movie that parodies his life,
Right.
because his life is about parodying other songs. So it's a meta in its own little way there.
Without spoiling too much, yeah, the beginning of the movie, he doesn't get a lot of encouragement from his dad. His dad, basically, you're going to work in the factory and stop that stupid shit, making up words for songs. And in real life, wasn't really like that. His dad was actually very supportive. His parents bought him his first accordion. And he really did get noticed by sending in a cassette tape of a song that he did to the Dr. Demento show.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty awesome. Well, we used to listen to Dr. Demento like back when we were little kids.
Yeah.
That's where we heard Squirrels, I think.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, so yeah, crazy. Well, what do you give Weird out of 5? What is your big score there?
I gave it a 3.5.
Nice. Not bad. Not bad. That is a winning record there for Weird. So you recommend it, obviously, man.
If you're into the Weird Al thing and you like ridiculousness and parodies and you like movies like UHF, you'll love this.
Oh, is Michael Richardson in this movie?
Michael Richardson does not appear.
There's a mop.
Oh man, they really missed out on an opportunity if they didn't have
a mop, or at least a reference to Spatula City.
Right, drive by one. Weird Al actually is featured in quite a bit of the movie as well. He plays a record producer. So
yeah, that's what I heard, which is awesome. Well, that's great. All right, well, there you go, folks. 3.5 out of 5 from the Wellandwingnut for Weird.
Weird,
the
man.
Yankovic story.
It was weird.
So strange, yo, so strange. Now, I don't know why we have it like this, but it's a little different here. Getting some more comments here. Got some lag on the audio tonight, guys. That might be on my end, because I didn't, as I normally do, switch over to. Oh no, no, never mind. It's not on my end, is it? It's Steve's fault. Could just be on your end. I don't know. Danny Radcliffe needed a 3 to be fair. Harry Potter was awful. I mean, I think we're just.
I've never seen them, so.
Yeah, I watched the first one, and I mean, I was just too old for it. I think.
Yeah.
It just
to me.
It was hard to relate, harder to relate to kids when you're that much older. But yeah, but the new head, David Zaslav of HBO Max Discovery or HBO Discovery, however they're calling the new company, says that he does want to bring back. He possibly wants to bring back J.K. Rowling and have Harry Potter movies. He thinks the Magical Beast did so poorly because they weren't Harry Potter. There was no Harry Potter involved in any of them. Yeah. So, do you think there's anything to that? Because like you look at Star Wars and like Andor is not doing well on the streaming service, and it may be the best Star Wars series that they've had.
Yeah,
it took a while to get there though.
I've told everybody that hasn't watched it yet. I said, I suggested watching the first 3 episodes as one, because it kind of ties in nicely. And then it does get a little slow after that. But the last 3 episodes have been fantastic.
This last episode, the Prison Break episode, is, I mean, Andy Serkis,
right,
is got to be one of the best actors on the planet. And I'm not trying. I'm sorry. We're gonna. If you haven't seen Andor, the last episode, I'm gonna have a bit of a spoiler here in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. At the end, where they're all jumping into the ocean or the lake, and he's like, "I can't swim," and you could just see the despair in his eyes. Like you could see he's like, "Fuck, I made it so far," and he's sad that he's not going to make it. But you could also see that little bit of, at least I got you guys here. At least as the supervisor, I got you guys out. But what do you think of the theory going around that he's actually Snoke? Like this is how he becomes Snoke.
Yeah, I mean, you never know. Star Wars and the fan theories, and it's almost too much, man. When we had the Disney trilogy come out, I really got burnt out on reading rumors and
Yeah. Oh, I mean, yeah. And unfortunately, with our page, that's what we do, right? Like,
yeah. I just
like,
mean with Star Wars in particular, being such a big fan of the franchise.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Well, and there's so much coming out. Like we got the casting, and I didn't even include it in the news. I thought about it, but we got the casting news for Acolyte, the next Star Wars series that's coming out, which is going to have Trinity from the Matrix movies. Oh my God, forgetting her name. You know who I'm talking about though, Carrie Ann Moss.
Right.
She's going to be in it as well, heading up that cast. So I'm excited to see that. As well as, did you ever watch the show The Good Place?
I did.
Jason's in it.
Okay.
So it'll be weird if he's not a dumbass. What?
Yeah.
It's true. I actually. Oh, whoops. Hey, Sonia. Sava. I'm watching Sonic 2 with my grandson, Jason. Oh, well, enjoy. I think I watched that. I did watch that one. Idris Elba is in that one, plays Knuckles. And Jim Carrey said that was his last movie, I'm pretty sure.
Right.
I actually thought Fantastic Beasts was great. Also, Andor has got epic, almost as good as Mando. Yeah, man.
Yeah, it's really
it took a while, though. Like there was... My whole problem with Andor, and I said this before, is Rogue One's my favorite Star Wars movie by far. But he was my least favorite. Like he was a douchebag though, and I get he was doing whatever he had to do so that he could advance the rebels forward. But like we open on him killing his best friend and one of his good friends, right? Like that's the opening scene of Rogue, our introduction into him, and I think that's the opening scene. Might be. It's been a while, been a minute, but yeah. So I thought it was weird to go with a character like that, but man,
yeah, same when they announced it,
so good. Yeah, Jyn Erso, I really would have liked to have seen her story though, leading up to how she got there. But I guess we got a lot of that in Rogue One, or at least references to it.
Right.
But yeah, Andor I think has been great. And another thing I didn't have the news story for in our news was one of the Disney execs said that Disney almost lost money this year for the first time. Yeah. Which is I think a lot of that is that fake anti-Disney hate though. Like you get a lot of online stuff. People are like, oh, this is just so horrible, so watered down. I'm like, you're watching comic book movies on TV. Why are you expecting the fucking, Citizen Kane? This comic book movies and TV shows. Why are you watching She-Hulk and expecting The West Wing? I'm just saying. Rogue One, as you know, is also my favorite movie in the franchise, other than the original 3. Yeah. I go Rogue One, Empire. And I'm not really sure, honestly. They all kind of fall under that. We'll rank them one day, though. What wrong with Captain Redbeard next to you? He looks angry. Let him talk. No, that's why he's angry. So I don't let him talk. Just throw him in the corner and here's some food. What do you mean? He just did his whole 5-second movie review. It's not my fault you got here late.
Yeah.
Cheers. All right. I don't know. I think people just want to get to the news. Maybe that's what it is. Do you think? All right. Let's. All right. Before we get started, I got to get this. Comic book movies are a lot better than Citizen Kane, in my opinion. I've tried to watch it 3 times, fell asleep within the first 20 minutes every time. I've watched the whole movie, and it's boring as shit the entire movie. It is cinematic masterpiece visually for its time. It's what established a lot of trends we see now and a lot of filmmaking styles. So I give it its props for that. It's like saying, but you wouldn't look at George Washington and say he's the greatest president of all time. He was the first, but that's it. So like, and that's what I find was
when he was president, he was the greatest.
Yeah, because he was the only one. By 3, he was already outdone. No, I'm just kidding. I have no. Steve cannot talk. Eat some seeds, Steve. I love comic books better too. Citizen Kane cinematic masterpiece equals sleep aid. Most cinematic masterpieces are sleep aids that I find from back in the day.
Here's my seed mix.
Nice. See, that's what I got to get to. Mine are up there. Oh, yeah. Anyways, so it's news time. And if I ate those seeds, they might make me die with my No, I'm just kidding. I just wanted to get some kind of a reference because we start off the news every week with our buddy.
Bring everybody down.
You are the Grim Reaper. The Grim Reaper, the Wellandwingnut, the Grim Wingnut himself. That's right. It's time for Death Beats, Hollywood Deaths with the Reaper, the Wingnut. I love you, Steve, as you know, Steve.
Love you too, buddy.
All right, buddy.
I can see it in my mouth.
Yeah, way to go, Luke. Oh, you said
yeah. Rough week. We've been off for a while, so I didn't go back too far, but we've lost quite a few people. Obviously, reason we're doing the show today. You followed this more than I did, so I'm going to let you talk about Kevin Conroy.
Yeah, Kevin Conroy, and we talked about it a lot today already. He was just when you think of Batman, and especially you think of the voice of Batman, this is the voice you hear. Kevin Conroy has been doing this voice. I mean, shit, like almost 30 years. You know, he's been doing it for a very, very long time. He is what a lot of kids from Gen X and older, anything that you know about Batman, you knew through him and his animated series and video games and what have you. I mean, the dude, like I said, he is Batman.
Yeah, unfortunately, only 66 years old, and as we say, fuck cancer.
Fuck cancer, indeed. 66, far too young. He was just a couple weeks ago. He did a TikTok interview, and they asked him what his favorite Batman line was. His favorite line that he'd ever said. This is what he had to say.
Okay. It's not who you are underneath. It's what you do that defines you. That line to me means so much. It's not who you are underneath. It's what you do with your life. That's what defines you. I think everyone can live up to that in one way or another.
Yeah, great message. Great message from a great guy. And yeah, fuck cancer, man. Like not even Batman can escape cancer. So yeah, dude was 1 in a million. So I'm the same age as you guys. Often say Gen X and older. Are we old guys also fuck cancer? Yes and yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Sorry to hear that, Sonia. Like fuck cancer indeed. And you just keep kicking its ass. Just keep kicking ass. That's it. All right. So who else? Like Kevin Conroy wasn't the only loss we had this week.
No, this one's unfortunate, as they all are, but so young, 34 years old. He's had his troubles in the past, but Aaron Carter was found in his bathtub by his housekeeper, who not 3 weeks earlier was actually a homeless woman that Aaron Carter took in and was given a place to stay to help out around the house. So other than that, we don't have a cause of death yet. So,
well, that's too bad. Like, I don't think it'll be too good when we find out what it was. I mean, and that's just assuming. I shouldn't really do that, but he had a lot of troubles over the years, and even recently, he'd been coming out basically going after everybody in his life, it seemed, going on the podcast tours. But hopefully, dude's found some peace, and same with his family and friends. Oh my God, I didn't know that one.
If you're not at least 40, I'm going to say you don't know who the hell this next guy is. But in the 80s, this guy was all over the place. He was one of the top comics, Gallagher.
Yeah, man.
Born Leo Anthony Gallagher Jr., famous for smashing watermelons on stage.
Him or his brother?
What's that?
Him or his brother? Did you never hear that?
No.
The conspiracy that he has a twin brother that stole his act?
Really?
Like, and I think it's not even conspiracy. I think it was on TV. Like, I think that was like public knowledge that. Oh, sorry, we both did the same thing.
Oh yeah,
yeah. But I'd have to look it up, but I'm pretty sure that's what we saw. But for those of you that may be too young, if you may be too young to remember, here's a quick clip of Gallagher.
Don't think that just because I haven't paid any attention to this little watermelon. Is there anyone that particularly does not want me to smash this pig? Well, then let's go ahead and do it!
Classic. Yeah. And that was the 80s. I mean, yeah, that was the respect level given to the police back then, sadly.
And then this next guy, lived a good, long, full life. Obviously known more for recently for his roles in Harry Potter. Leslie Phillips, at the age of 98 years old. This guy's first acting gig was 1937. He played a wolf in an onstage production of Peter Pan. Just a few years after that, he was actually in a couple of Pinewood Studios' first movies.
Yeah, I'm not too familiar, to be honest. But how old did you say?
98 years old. Yeah, like I said, yeah, Harry Potter is probably the most notable work.
So that might be why I'm not.
But I looked at his filmography, and he has, I got to say, close to 200.
Oh, damn.
Credits, yeah.
Well, good for him. Good long life and good career. Glad to hear it. And Luke Tuff says Leslie Phillips was a legend. Rip. Rest in power, sir. Rest in power. Oh, well, is that it for all the deaths? Or I know there was a few others. There was a couple comic book artists that had passed as well.
Yeah, we also lost the lead singer of Nazareth, and Canadian band Helix, guitar player, was murdered.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yo. So did I tell you I got recruited to do play-by-play for a wrestling federation in Ottawa? So not next weekend, the 26th. So 2 weekends. They're going to be paying for me to go out to Ottawa. They're getting me a hotel room. And then I'm doing play-by-play for the show. They did this whole big thing saying they fluffed my balls perfectly. Let's just put it that way. They cupped them and everything. So great. But so I'm doing this show with them, and they have Honeymoon Suite performing. I know it's not 1984 anymore, but they got Honeymoon fucking Suite playing. All right, like I haven't even seen them at Canal Days.
They were at concerts on the Canal in Welland. I'm going to say 3 years ago, before the pandemic.
No shit.
Yeah.
Well, right on. Well, good for them. I mean, and I missed them then, so now I get to see him now. He has been in so many films, and Carry On, he was hilarious. Carry On. Oh, I feel like I've seen Carry On. I'll have to look that up for sure. But yeah, you definitely definitely looks like a legend, as you said. And when you look at over 200 credits to his name, it says a lot about the dude. All right. Going from sad to sad. I don't normally do reviews. Like that's your thing, the movie reviews. But every once in a while, when a comic book movie comes out, I'm the one that watches them. And because we are a geek show, people want to know the comic book stuff. So I went and saw the new Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. I saw this with both my children. This is the first time. Well, I have 3, but I saw them with my 2 youngest.
Did you have to leave it like a trail of money to get Phoenix there, or?
No, she wanted to go. I didn't say anything about even having to go for a walk or anything.
That's what I was referring to.
So this is this movie. Oh, how do I? Let's get into a few things before we get into. Just trying to. My son did not like this movie, but I do want to say I think it's because he fell asleep really early on. He was definitely tired. And I had to get Albino.
It's hard to really enjoy a movie when you miss most.
Yeah, so he missed a bunch of like the plot points and stuff like that. So, but the movie, and I don't know if it was, we were at Niagara Square in AVX, and it was so fucking dark. Like they filmed this movie so dark, we couldn't. There's a bunch of shit we just could not see. If you know when you're at the drive-in and it's a dark movie and you can't see anything, that's what it felt like. And I was like, oh, fuck, like that's messed up. Maybe it was because we're the back row in the back corner, but that was kind of a bad experience. So we missed a bunch of what was happening on screen in the first little bit. My daughter, it's a 3-hour movie, and my daughter stayed awake for the whole thing. And I asked her later, I was like, I'm surprised you stayed awake for the whole thing. You know, that's not really your thing. And she looked at me. She had a big hoodie on the entire time. So I keep looking over and she's just like this. So I thought she was sleeping. She was like, no, I was hitting my weed vape pen the entire time and blowing the smoke in my sweater. It's like, oh my God. Like, I don't even know where they get the shit from. But that being said, I like the movie. Wasn't my favorite Phase 4 movie by far. No. The movie was long. It didn't feel extremely long though. But me as a comic book fan, I liked it because they kept mentioning shit that piqued my ears, and I was like, oh, okay, there's that. Oh, there's those two. Oh, there's that. Oh, they're doing this. So to me, I'm seeing all that. And for me, that works. Casual fan might fucking hate this movie or just be so lost, right? And my son's not a casual fan at all. He knows all this stuff. But like I said, he fell asleep a bit. But there were some slow-moving points. But the movie opens up, I mean, and they hit you right in the face with Chadwick Boseman's death, like right away. Like so the emotions are right there, right away. They're right in your face. And I think they handled that really, really well. The way they introduce Namor, I know people want to say Namor, and I know that all non-Atlanteans or Talaquans, as they call him in the movie, call him Namor, but he refers to himself as Namor. The way they introduce him and stuff, and the way that a lot of it felt really forced. You're wondering how a landlocked nation is invaded by water-faring people, right? So, like, there's rivers and stuff, but those are rivers. There's a waterfall that we see in the first part as well, like in the very first movie. So that part we get, but there was some stuff like that, and you're just like, ugh. But I love how if you're going to change the origin of this character and make him more like from the Aztec background, I think they handled that well too. But there was just so much juggling going on in this movie. I think it's hard for a casual fan to keep up with it.
Really?
Amber?
Like I'm going to answer that right now.
Facebook user, come on. My agent just messaged me and I didn't even answer. I did like this movie though. things that there are a couple surprises in this movie. There's a surprise cameo that you've probably seen online already, because the internet spoils everything. But I mean, all in all, I thought the movie was good. I thought the way they ended it was all right. They're definitely setting up multiple storylines moving forward, not just, you know, Black Panther's story moving forward, but, you know, Young Avengers, Thunderbolts, all of that we're going to see. Secret Invasion, all that we're going to see branch off from this. And this was the end of Phase 4. And I think after watching all of Phase 4, talking about the multiverse a lot. But I think, and dealing with magic quite a bit. But more so than anything else, I think this phase dealt with loss. You know, dealing with Iron Man dying at the end of Phase 3. And Black Widow and Captain America retiring. And then, you know, just having a lot of people that dealt with PTSD throughout all the different series and movies. I think that was an overlying theme that they were really kind of pushing. So hopefully this next theme is a little more hope-filled, you know, and getting back to that Marvel formula of just kind of making the fun stuff. Right. But when it comes to what I would give this movie, I haven't ranked this movie yet, so this is going to be my first time ranking it, and I'd probably give it a 6.5 out of 10, which I know doesn't sound great, but it's also not horrible.
Yeah,
passing grade. It definitely isn't the best Marvel Phase 4 movie, but there weren't a lot of great ones either, so it's still up there. So that's my review. And the end credit scene, there's only one of them. If you go see the movie, there is one end credit scene, and that was worth the movie alone. I want spoilers, but I don't want spoilers. I want to know what Namor, is this a lead in to the Fantastic Four? Don't tell me. I'm going to see it next week sometime. Well, I just told you everything I think it's a lead into, but it's Namor. So, I mean, anytime Namor is mentioned, you have to figure that Reed Richards and the Fantastic Four, and especially Sue Richards, isn't too far behind, because she's got it bad for the fish. So yeah, that's my Black Panther review. It was a great farewell to Chadwick, but the rest of the movie, meh. It is what it is. What do you got next, sir? I mean, I did give you a very good segue.
No,
I'm fully baked. No, I'm only half baked.
Apparently, Half Baked 2 is wrapped.
Wrapped?
And not starring Dave Chappelle or Jim Brewer or Stephen Wright, the guy on the couch. We're getting Rachel True reprising her role as Mary Jane and Harlan Williams.
Are they married now? And why?
The story will follow Thurgood Johnson Jr.
Dave Chappelle's kid?
Right. Dave Chappelle has openly shat on this movie. He's not a huge fan of it.
Can I just say, when it comes to this movie, fuck you. Fuck you. You're cool. Fuck you. Fuck everybody. I'm out.
You see, what this you got to understand about this movie is Killer the dog was born to a three-legged bastard of a mother.
And then they killed a horse?
Right.
Why? Why?
This surprisingly, shockingly, sit down for this one, will be a straight to video on demand.
So it's already out?
Probably.
Flickster already has it.
I told it in like 28 days.
Yeah, it's already on Flickster. We're not even covering it up anymore. Speaking of not cover up, huge news, and I don't know if we covered it because it's been a couple weeks, but James Gunn, Peter Safran, the new heads of DC Studios. And they're already making their mark. They're saving some stuff, teasing some stuff. Henry Cavill's back. Henry Cavill saying how happy he is to be playing a happy, hopeful Superman. And I mean, this team up says that they've got a 10-year plan in the work now, which I think is pretty freaking awesome. And James Gunn, like many people, he hasn't left Twitter, but he joined the new social platform Mastodon. And he posted saying, "Hey, I'm over here. Love it." And he had a picture of Lobo. Do you know who Lobo is?
Yes.
Yes, he's the intergalactic bounty hunter. Well, I've been saying for years that Jason Momoa should have played Lobo. Everybody's been saying that. And for some reason, he was Aquaman. Well, right after the James Gunn thing, comicbook.com was doing an interview with Jason Momoa about his new movie, and they had asked him about this.
Obviously, I'm sure everybody's asking this today, but you mentioned your dream with James Gunn and Peter Safran. I saw James post Lobo. Are those two?
Did he really?
He posted a photo of Lobo.
Show me.
He posted a photo of Lobo on Mastodon to say, "I'm on this app too," with a tease of Lobo. Is your statement and his post connected at all? Fair enough.
Well, everyone knows I'm a comic book fan, and so the comic that I collect the most, and I have every comic there is, you can do your research and find out what it is.
I mean, I'm not saying he's going to be Lobo, but he's going to be Lobo. And I mean, I think this means now, like, the Snyderverse is dead. Yes, we're still going to have Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. Yes, we're still going to have Henry Cavill as Superman. Yes, we're still going to have Ben Affleck at least for one, maybe two movies as Batman. Ezra Miller will be exiting The Flash as The Flash at the end of Flashpoint, and the whole universe is going to get reset in Flashpoint. So that means Jason Momoa could be Aquaman and Lobo, and Aquaman dies off in that one universe, and he's Lobo in this one. Or they're just going to ignore him as Aquaman in that universe, and that universe didn't exist. And this is all brand new. Like, it seems like the new Superman movie isn't going to be Man of Steel 2 as much as it's going to be a soft reboot of that franchise. So I'm down with this. Like, and that dude is fucking Lobo.
Definitely has a lot.
Wow, he's a motorcycle riding, beer swilling, axe throwing, wild Samoan. So I think he can do it. I'm down for it. Give me some. That's it. I don't know.
There's no segueing into this next one.
I mean, sure there is. You know what? Because you know what? You can make poo out of pan with Lou. No, I ain't got nothing.
As you already know, and I'm sure I've already heard if you follow our page, if you've seen the show, that Reyes Waterfield is bringing us Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. Now we're gonna get untitled Peter Pan slasher movie.
So, in the original Peter Pan, though, doesn't Peter Pan murder the Lost Boys? Like, isn't that why they're lost?
Yeah, I don't remember the whole story, but yeah, I remember that always creeped me out, them turning into donkeys.
Yeah, but I don't mean in what we watched. I mean, like in the books. I think like
in the books probably. Everything was really
like I think it was like a Grimm, the brothers. It wasn't the Brothers Grimm, but I think it was like their original stories where we adapted them as we got older to be far tamer than what they really were. Like Hansel and Gretel survive.
Yeah, Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey is going to be out February 15th, 2023, and look forward to Peter Pan.
Peter Pan and the Lost Boys. That better be what it is. Yes, give us some kids movies as they should be. Who said kids movies?
Having Cinderella cut their toes off to try, the sisters cut their toes off to try and get in the shoes.
Oh yeah. Well, they're gonna milk this for as much as they can, though. They're gonna get everything out of there. Mickey Mouse is soon gonna be 100, so they're gonna go after that. Superman is in his 80s, so once he's 100, that's fair game too.
Yeah.
I mean, they got to do something to change that, though, right? Like they got. Like,
Well, it used to be only 50 years, and Disney is the one that fought it because they were about to lose. Yeah, Mickey Mouse.
Mickey Mouse. Yeah. Well, I mean, I think as long as you're alive or your corporation is still running, you should be able to keep control. Like, let's think if it was RaTG TV, and we had say it's Clanny. Say it's Clanny, and and then someone starts doing Clanny shit. Wouldn't you be pissed? I mean, wouldn't your spirit be pissed at least?
I would come back and haunt.
Greg says, quick search gave me this. In both book and play, Peter murders pirates easily without a care. In the book, we learn that Peter kills the Lost Boys too, either to thin the herd or because they are growing up, which is against the rules. And that's what I heard, is that he killed them because they were growing up.
Damn.
Right? Thank you, Greg. We got to get you on as a producer.
Yeah, that's messed up, man.
That is, man. Well, like I said, they're going to franchise the shit out of all these anyways. Another franchise doing really well, obviously, was Tom Holland's Spider-Man. Came on in Civil War, and then Marvel and Sony made this deal. And it's worked out pretty good for Marvel and for Sony because they're getting money from this as well. But Tom Holland said he was going to take some time off. Wasn't sure if he's going to play Spider-Man anymore after Last No Way Home. But the rumor mills have been churning. Now, this is not confirmed, but I mean, everybody's picked up on this story so far. And that is that Tom Holland has reportedly signed on for another trilogy for Spider-Man. So another 3 Spider-Man movies, plus the options to show up in other movies, Avengers or whatever, Disney Plus shows maybe, and also some of the Sony properties. So, we might see him in Madam Web. I'm just saying that. Like, I'm just put that out there. I hadn't heard that or anything. But what I did hear is that Tom Holland will definitely be in Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, which is arguably the greatest Spider-Man movie ever made. An animated movie. Yeah, I said it. And tying into that, Daniel Kaluuya from Black Panther, from Nope, from Get Out, he is going to join Across the Spider-Verse as well, and he will be playing Spider-Punk, which is the punk rock version of Spider-Man from alternate universe. So that's good. He's a huge character in the comics as well, Spider-Punk. Give us Peter Rabbit as a psycho human killer trying to save the forest. Well, never mind. Wait till Paddington Bear. Wait till these guys get a hold of Paddington Bear. I mean, I'm down for when it happens to Caillou, but producer,
I've seen that little psycho for who he really is.
Right. Tom Holland couldn't keep a secret to save his life. I know. Did you see? I put up a meme on the Ryan's All Things Geek page, and it was Tom Holland receiving the script for Spider-Man 4, and it was just all blank pages, so he can spill the beans to anybody. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, like that's good times, and that's big news here in that casting news. But that's not the only casting news we got this week.
No, if you're a fan of the new Dune remake movie, obviously you know that we're getting a sequel, and HBO is going to be doing a TV series, and their latest casting is Viking star Travis Fimmel. Or if you're Amber, you're not only a fan of his work in Vikings, you're a fan of his underwear ads. So I may be subjected to this.
Right.
I love you, Travis. I love Jid Vikings, but I don't.
And you love him in the underwear commercials too. Tell the truth.
I mean, he's a pretty good looking guy.
You just wanted to see the Viking package. I get it. Right. Speaking of the Viking package, tomorrow we have the best chance of beating the Bills that we're going to have if Josh Allen doesn't play. Just putting that out there. Just going to put that out there.
I'm saying he's coming back too early if he does.
Oh, for sure. And
that's the throwing arm, man.
No, exactly. And he's that whole team. I just hope we don't lose to Case Keenum and Stefan Diggs. Can you imagine on the last play of the game we lose on a fucking blown assignment? Like if they do the Minneapolis Miracle to Minnesota, because that was the 2.
Yeah.
In other news,
Bedlam in Buffalo.
You saw, yeah. Hey, how about you don't stomp on our news there? All right, maybe I had that in the news roundup. All right, and I didn't think we had the actual date. So, but we'll definitely get to that. I only hope that there's another Warcraft movie and Tavis reprises his role. I like that movie. I'm not gonna lie. I like the Warcraft movie, and I am not a huge fan of the game. Because he mentioned it, I'm gonna switch stories here. So yeah, we did find out January. We are gonna get our first 2 episodes of the brand new Night Court series starring Big Bang Theory's Melissa Rauch. She's going to be playing Harry Stone's daughter. And of course, John Larroquette will be back. Now, people are snapping out saying that that they're sad Richard Mall won't be back and Marsha Warfield, but we haven't got confirmation. So why don't you just slowly roll and let's see. Who knows? We might see Sam Beckett on Quantum Leap at some point. Yo, I know I said I didn't like that first episode. And I'm not saying it's a good show because it's not, but I watch it every week.
I've been watching it every week too. Amber definitely likes it a lot more than I do. I'm not hating on it, but it's not the original, and it's kind of Quantum Leap.
It's fun. I like it.
Yeah, no, it's fun. It's not. There's not good acting in it. There's the stories. The stories are pretty.
Right back to the hotness is not there at all. But
What? Yeah. The stories, though, either way.
Yeah, I think Scott Bakula.
Who did? Not now.
We don't know that Scott's not going to show up, though. They've been talking about him all season long. I guarantee we're going to get him at some point. Sorry, I must have gotten Tom Holland's script this week. All right. Yeah, and so I went out of order there a little bit, but that's still going to put you up next with you had a whoa.
It's a family show.
Whoa, stop or Steve will shoot. And you don't want to know what he's going to shoot. Yes, a mouthful. Sam never made a
hey.
Something. Yeah, that just got weird. And like I said, stop or Steve will shoot. That was my thing.
Yeah. Stop or my mom will shoot. We were talking about this before. You said Arnold actually copped this a few years ago, but Sylvester Stallone has been talking about this on his latest press tour, talking about how Sylvester Stallone was tricked into taking this role after Arnold expressed interest. And I use air quotes, interest, to try and get Sly to grab the role and maybe for a little.
Well,
his career.
Let's hear it from Arnie a few years ago when he was on Jimmy Kimmel talking about this.
It was crazy. It was all-out war. It was all-out war.
So the story goes that you somehow tricked him into making a very bad movie.
Yes.
And is that true?
Yes, but it's part of the...
How did you pull that off?
Well, because they came to me because Hollywood knew that I was wanting to get out of just doing action movies and do comedies. That's why I did then Twins and Kindergarten Cop and movies like that. Thank you. But so they came to me with this other movie, and I forgot what it was called.
Stop or My Mother Will Shoot.
Stop or My Mom Will Shoot, exactly. Yes. That's right. And so I read the script, and it was a piece of I mean, let's be honest. And so I said to myself, I'm not going to do this movie. So then they went to Sly, and then Sly called me and he says, hey, have they ever talked to you about this movie? And I said, yeah. I said, I was thinking about doing it. I said, this is a really brilliant idea, this movie. And so when he heard that, because he was in competition, he immediately called him and says, look, whatever it takes, I do the movie. So he did the movie.
Wow.
And of course, the movie went major into the toilet.
Major into the toilets. That's so great. I mean, and to think that they're friends now after, like, because there was a lot of heat and beef back then. I think it was Planet Hollywood that got them all together to stop hating each other, though. Like, because I even at a point they hated Bruce Willis too once he started doing the Die Hards. Yeah. But then it was Bruce, Arnold, Sly, and who else?
Dan for a while there.
Yeah, but he joined on afterwards, right? Wasn't it like it was Sly, Bruce,
late 80s, early 90s?
Arnold. Yeah, but yeah, there was a few people that joined on with them afterwards. But that's a great story, and I loved hearing it. Nah, stop or my mom will shoot is comedy gold. You know what? I watched it when I was a kid or a young teenager, so still a kid, and I liked it. I really liked that show. I'm not gonna lie. All right. So that was your stop or my mom will shoot, and you know, from that to and who knows if this will be a good comedy or not, but The Rock, he's just gonna keep throwing shit at the wall and throwing as many of his high priced friends from the Hollywood world in it as he can to see if it'll stick. And he's making a new movie. So with Netflix, he did Red Notice with Ryan Reynolds and Gal Gadot.
Yeah.
Now he's doing a Santa Claus movie with Chris Evans and J.K. Simmons called Red One. We got our first look at The Rock and Chris Evans there. And of course, we see J.K. Simmons as Santa Claus there and Santa Rock. Okay. Is The Rock gonna dilute himself? And you know what I mean by that? Like, is The Rock doing too much stuff right now? Like, does he have to step back for a little bit? Maybe keep producing movies that he's not in? Take a step back and then, get that urge, like people wanting, hey, where's The Rock been?
Yeah, it'd be a smart play because it's not like he needs the money. He's got his hand in a lot of things, and there's no reason why he couldn't go, the Adam Sandler route and just do the Happy Madison thing,
Right. Well, he does. He's got $7 Productions, right?
Right.
But he doesn't. I don't think he produces, like, unlike Adam Sandler, I don't think he produces anything that he's not in himself. Right. Especially if he's not the star in. Greg says, I think the other big name in Planet Hollywood was Demi Moore. Yeah, she was, but I think they were still married at that point.
Right.
The Rock is Santa's Deadpool companion. Right. That would be Red One Notice. Or Red Notice 1. Yeah, I mean, that's it's okay. But it is what it is. I don't have any way to segue into this, but so you got a story about some old people out west.
Yeah, if you're a fan of Yellowstone, maybe you've been watching 1883. Now 1923 is coming at you, and it's going to be starring Harrison Ford and Helen Mirren. I haven't watched Yellowstone. I've bought every episode or every season of it, and as well as 1883 for my dad. My dad's really loving it, so that probably tells you the audience they're going after. I don't know. It's not a show for me.
Speaking of Lemon, we were getting a Christmas tree. He came out and measured the car when I was there just now.
Oh, yeah.
I have no idea what she just said there. I heard her
getting my parents' old Christmas tree.
Oh, okay.
He was out there measuring the car just now.
I heard her in slur. Yeah. So I mean, I'm with you. I haven't watched Yellowstone yet. I haven't watched 1883. I haven't watched 1923, or I doubt I'll watch 1923. But I do really like Helen Mirren, and I do like Harrison Ford.
Yeah.
Harrison Ford is my favorite Hollywood drug dealer. I have no idea what she was saying.
11/22/63. That's a great series. It's only 6 episodes.
Absolutely nothing to do with what we're talking about right now, aside from it just having numbers.
You're saying
it just has numbers. It has nothing to do with
dates.
We're talking about the Yellowstone
journey.
How does she keep baking it into each? We need to organize one week where you know what? We just need to do in person again.
What?
Right.
Right.
You're so
That's
I hate you all.
Speaking of women saying "suck my dick," do you know who the first woman in cinema was to say "suck my dick"? I just learned this.
Give me a decade.
Okay, 90s.
Ooh, I want to say Sharon Stone, but it's not Sharon
Was
Stone.
co-starred with Jeff Goldblum,
Gina Davis.
Gina Davis. Yeah, in A Long Kiss Goodnight.
That fucking movie is fucking fire, as the kids would say. I'm looking to see if Flickster has it right this second, because I'm going to watch that movie later tonight. A Long Kiss Goodnight.
I'm pretty sure it is on there.
Did you check for it?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yes, folks, we're talking. You probably hear us keep talking about this Flickster thing. Oh, it is on there too, and I'm adding it to my favorites right now. Flickster's like Netflix and Disney and Prime and everything. It has it all. There's no pop-ups, no downloads, no nothing. And I mean, it's free, but if you do the free version, you can only watch stuff that's been released in the last 3 months. And if the server's full, you can't watch until there's room.
Right.
And I pay for mine, and I think it's like $60 for half a year. And you get everything. Everything. How do you think I watch Night Court every day? Not that we're doing a commercial for them, but if they ever go legit, I'm just saying, we'll be doing the commercials for them. They got to be legit somehow. There's no way that they're still up there. Like, how could they not get taken down?
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to get our golden goose fucking cooked here. But I mean, I'm sorry. I would rather pay. We're paying less than a month than you would for Netflix or Disney or any of those. And we're getting them all. All of them. All of them. There's some shows that aren't there, especially if you're in Canada and you're looking for Canadian shows. You might miss a few Canadian shows that are out there in other countries, but for the most part, I mean, all the big shows are on there. And if Steve and I aren't watching a big show that's out there, it's not because we can't. It's because we don't want to. And speaking of don't want to, I'm just kidding. You know what I don't want to do is I don't want John Wick movies to stop.
Right.
Because they're just mindless fucking fun. They're old school Rambo shoot 'em ups. Yeah. Like, and I'm down with it. Give me a bulletproof suit. I don't care if you're using it like Captain America's shield or not. And that's exactly what we got to see recently as the John Wick 4 trailer was released. And we got to see the bad guy this time. And I mean, the creepiest of the Skarsgårds by far, young Billy Skarsgård. Some of you know him as Pennywise. Is joining the fray. And every time a John Wick movie comes out, you're like, how are they going to up the last movie? It's like
I have to give my dog her treat. She's bugging.
Yeah. Well, you should do that on camera for the fans at home, at least. They love seeing
She
cats.
must have her treat the second she is done eating. She is relentless. Come here, Lulu.
Lulu.
Come here. Come here. There we go.
There you go. Aww. Say hello to the people. Now our viewers just went up by 50. Are you a John Wick guy?
Yeah, I love John Wick.
Nice, right on. I want to see a crossover. I want to see a crossover with the.
What's happening with the series? Is it still a go?
Yeah. Not only is the Continental a go, but also another spinoff called Ballerinas. You know, based on the ballerinas that we saw in the last one, with what's her name who played Morticia Adams in the Addams Family with Raul Julia. I forget her name, but she was the head ballerina instructor. Keanu Reeves just announced that he'll be back for that as well. So that whole franchise is going huge, and it doesn't look like it's going to stop. And I'm down for it. And I know that there's supposed to be for the John Wick movies. I think they're supposed to go to 6 for sure. Like I think that's how many they had Keanu contracted to. Is that a Mogwai, Steve?
Right. I know. Is it midnight yet? Shit, I just fed it.
Angelica Houston. Yeah, you're both right. Thank you, guys. Angelica Houston. Yeah, man.
Houston.
Dude, she's dead, and she didn't even die from playing a video game.
Right.
Right.
I mean,
How fucked up is that? How fucked up is this story?
Right. Wait, did I just get rid of that note? This one?
With that one? Just like that.
Oh, here it is. Here it is. Oculus founder says that they have invented a VR that will kill you. If you die in the game, you will die.
In real life.
There is chargers in the headset.
They come out like devil horns. Do you see them? They're up like here, like 2 spikes.
He says that he hasn't gotten the balls up to try it out yet. He said for now it's going to be just a piece of office art, but Jesus.
Why?
All right, with money involved.
Why?
Would you play a game?
No.
No amount of money.
No. There is more than a 1% chance I'm gonna die.
I was just gonna ask you percentages, and you're starting at 1.
Dude, I can barely stay alive on Call of Duty. This game where I can really die. I'm in my head way too much. I'd die just because I'd be overthinking shit on the easiest level.
Shoot yourself, or
the easiest level. It's like 1 + 1 is what? And I'm like, oh my god, it's too easy just to be 2. It can't be 2. There's got to be something more than that. So Xfinity, and then I die on the very first fucking question, and then that I'm the answer to a trivia question. Who is the idiot?
It's like hitting that first Goomba in Mario.
What's that?
It's like hitting that first Goomba in Mario on level 1.
Yeah, man. Boop. If you don't, yes, the one that's coming right by the first mushroom.
Yeah.
If you don't hit it right, son of a bitch. Isn't Anna DeMar supposed to be in the Ballerina, or is she in the Continental? She is the lead in the Ballerina series. I don't know if she'll be in Continental. I assume they'll have some type of crossovers. The way I'm looking at the Wick franchise for the TV series, and even for the movies now, because we just had confirmation of Keanu going to be in Ballerinas, I think it's going to be like the Chicago series, like Chicago PD, Chicago Fire, and Chicago MD or Med, where you're going to see the occasional crossovers because they all work with each other. So you would see them at some point. It really looked in the trailer like Winston's going to die, like that John Wick's going to kill Winston. I fucking hope not. I love Ian McShane as an actor. He is so fucking dope, and he is great in that role as Winston. But yeah, I'm terrible at regular video games. I even die in Tetris all the time. I've got an Oculus. I'm only letting my kids play at the moment. You're only going to let your kids play the death game? Oh, dude, you're hardcore.
If you guys can do it, maybe Daddy will try it.
Yes, enough. All right. That shit's fucking crazy. We talked a little bit before about fucking the John Wick movies. Keanu's like this franchise guy, right? Like he does Bill and Ted, does fucking John Wick movies, and now he's getting a sequel to something that a lot of fans really loved, and that was the Hellblazer movie back in the day. We are getting a Hellblazer 2, where he's going to be reprising his role as Constantine, the Hellblazer. I really wish he was just blonde and British. Hellblazer, the comic book, is great. I think Matt Ryan is the best person to ever play the role. I know a lot of people liked the movie with Keanu Reeves. I didn't Like he had the crucifix gun and all this other stuff that was just for the movie, and they changed a bunch, but I get it. People loved it, so they're gonna get a second one. But man, I don't know. I just want him to look like Sting. Like that's who Neil Gaiman made him. Like that character is supposed to look like Sting, the singer. Yeah. So, and
That's not a good look.
Keanu doesn't. But what are you gonna do? What am I supposed to do? Scream about it?
I mean, you could, but maybe no one will hear you because you're in New York and it's there's just so many people and no one gives a shit.
Is that what happens in Scream?
The next Scream will take place in New York City. The reason we mentioned it today, we have talked about it in the past. We do have a release date, as you see there, March 31st, 2023. But recently, Jenny Ortega has come out and said fans will be so distracted by the next Scream movie that you won't even notice Neve Campbell's not in it.
And Neve Campbell actually came out today and said she's not in it either, or came out recently and said she won't be in it either. And even though she's
so it was a pay thing, and maybe the movie's going to be that good. I won't notice Neve Campbell's in it, but to come out and say that, like,
that's like shots fired, though, right?
Yeah, that's shots fired for sure.
I mean, well, whatever. She's no Neve Campbell, but what is that, anyways? Just kidding.
Who is, right?
Right.
We love you, Neve. Come on the show.
Please do. Fellow Canadian. We love all the Canadians.
We do.
So we talked about fan casting before, and one of the huge fan castings that people have been talking about for a long time is if they ever made a Gears of War TV show or animated, who would they get to play it? Well, we found out there is a Gears of War movie coming out and a Gears of War adult animated feature that'll be coming out.
Bow, chicka, bow, bow.
Right?
Weird.
And he was even in one of the games, but Dave Bautista came out, got all dressed up, and said, yo, man, basically said, I will have to burn down this entire company if I'm not in one of these movies in some fashion. I get it. He's got the look. He does have the look. I'm still just not sold on Bautista as an actor. Right? And they keep putting him in they put him in good stuff. Like they put him in with some really fucking good actors.
Yeah.
So, and he just recently had a comment saying that Daniel Craig was way happier on the set of Glass Onion, the Knives Out sequel that Bautista's in, than he was in the James Bond movie that Bautista was in. I'm going to say because when you were in that James Bond movie with him, that was like the first role you were given, and I bet you Daniel Craig knew it. I'm not, and I don't know that he's that kind of guy, but we're talking about a guy who was not knighted, but he was given the same, I forget what it was, the same honor that James Bond was given in the books. The royal family gave to him in real life. I mean, so I think he's a little posh as well, and he's an actor's actor, and
yeah,
I don't know, and I'm just guessing, but
well, when you're a guy like Dave Bautista, sometimes you just have to manifest your own destiny.
Well, I mean that, or just threaten people because you're this huge guy.
Yeah,
it's got a history of being a bully. I watch wrestling. I watched the Dave Bautista fucking bio where he talks about his life growing up. He was a bit of a criminal, but I don't hate on criminals because we know a lot of them. Hey, and that's like you said, that's just how you manifest them. He was manifesting his destination or his life.
Yeah, if you're watching Manifest on NBC, unfortunately, it was canceled after the third season, or maybe fortunately, depending on what your take on it was. It's back on Netflix. It's revived it, season 4, and it has quickly become Netflix's top viewed show.
Really?
Yeah. I started watching this show when it first came out, on NBC.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, cool concept. I like it. I was kind of into it. And then the more I watched the first season, I'm like, it seems like this is going to be another fucking Lost. Not doing it. And I pulled out.
That's why you've never had any children of your own either. I saw where this was going. I pulled out.
Yeah.
I saw my life in 18 years. Wow. Yeah,
I mean, of all the shows, that Netflix has canceled after 3 seasons, like Manifest, that's what you buy and revive. I mean, hey, obviously people are liking it. Top viewed shows. So hey.
Yeah. Well, there you go. It's all you. Well, that's I think that's it. That's the news. That was the end of the news. The only thing we got left is I do have my TikToker of the week, and I do like this one. Have you seen it yet?
I know you didn't show it to me yet.
All right. Well, this is for you. It's just a quick 15-second hitter, so watch quickly. I love duets.
If you're fucking happy and you motherfucking know it, clap your motherfucking hands. If you're fucking happy and you motherfucking know it, clap your motherfucking hands. If you're fucking happy and you motherfucking know it, and you really motherfucking want to motherfucking show it. If you're motherfucking happy and you motherfucking know it, clap your motherfucking hands.
Poly-Asian bitch. Thank you so much for that. That shit was funny. That was funny. That was definitely funny. I had some other ones that were really funny, but they walked the line even for us. So hold off on those. I guess that tells you a little bit more about my sense of humor than anything else. But also where I know where to draw the line. And for those that don't like it, just kidding. That's all I had. What you got on tap for this week?
Not much. It's the worst week of football for me. It's bye week, so I basically have to, cheer for whoever the Steelers are playing against. I mean, I do every week, but
yeah. Well, that's all right. You can watch the Vikings game this week.
But hey, we got some early morning football tomorrow, live from Germany.
Right, Guten Tag. Do you think talk a little football here before we go? Do you? I know you hate him. Do you think Tom Brady turned the corner last week? Do you think Tom Brady's over the divorce, or maybe has a new girlfriend, and that's why he seemed like he was really excited about that barely win from last week, and that's the happiest I've seen him look since he's come back, since the Super Bowl, really.
Yeah, the Bucs had a rough go. 3-game skid?
Yeah. But well, we all know he got divorced, right? Or he's getting divorced.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, who knows? This season, you never know. This could be Minnesota's year. I'm just saying.
Yeah. They look good, man, for sure.
I just wish our defense was stronger.
I think the NFC, other than the Eagles, which I don't think the Eagles have had the greatest schedule that people think they played some pretty soft teams, but hey, undefeated still, so we'll see where it goes.
And they got Dallas again at the end of the year. I think that's their last game of the year. Is they got Dallas in Dallas, I think. And the first time they played Dallas and they won, they beat Cooper Rush.
Right.
They didn't beat Dak,
who played well in a few games.
He played well, but he's not Dak.
Right.
Let's be honest. And what I love that they've been doing since Dak's been back, though, is they've been sticking with the same formula they did with Cooper and not trying to beat you with their quarterback. They're still beating you with a 2-man fucking running game that is fucking insane. Reminds me of was it Tiki Barber and oh my God, who was it? They had Thunder and Lightning there with the Giants.
Yeah, I can't think.
Yeah, but yeah. So who knows? This season, you honestly don't know. People are like, "Oh, KC now is the front runner," and I'm like, KC's had to come back and win a bunch of games this year.
Yeah.
Like if Pat Mahomes has one off game, they're out. They're out because he's the only reason why they keep winning games. I mean, it's not going to be Cincy, no offense. You guys had your shot last year, though. And you guys will be back, though, too. Like, let's be honest. Not to the Super. Like, I don't know. But, I mean, like, you guys will be back in the playoffs again. But that
Not this
division
year.
is tough.
Not this year.
That division tough though. In Minnesota, I don't know, that the NFC is tougher than it looks, I think. Because Philadelphia's tough. San Fran's a tough fucking team. Tampa Bay can still beat people. I mean, and who else? Who else is there? The Rams are shit. The Super Bowl champs are shit this year. Yeah, I don't know. Do you have anyone that you think is going to make the Super Bowl?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm still a little early for me. I mean, obviously the Bills looked, really good at the sort of start of the season, but injuries pile up quick. So who knows, man?
Oh yeah, and especially Josh Allen and all that hard running he does and all the hits he takes. Yeah. So I don't know. We will see. But if it does happen, like I said, I still just want to see it Minnesota and Buffalo, and just not be a tie.
First ever Super Bowl tie.
It would happen.
We're both winners. I mean, this is the generation that would do it. So
both winners or both losers, seeing though neither one's ever won fucking Super Bowl. They're both 0 for 4. So, all right. Well, that'll do it with all the sports talk and all the other talk. I'm not sure if we got a show next weekend because I have wrestling Friday night, CWF, and the CWF wrestlers are taking on WXW wrestlers. And it's being fucking taped for the WWE network. I'm going to be on the WWE network. And Saturday, I think I might have something to do. I don't have it written on my calendar, but I think I do. But if not, we'll be back. And then the week after that, I'm in Ottawa, so we won't be doing a show that week. But yeah, I hope everybody had a good time. Hope you enjoyed the show. Hope you enjoyed Steve and Facebook user 36742. And I hope you just had a good time and a great weekend. And you know what? We will see you all next time on the RaTG TV show. For your boy, the Wellandwingnut. It's your man, Zeus.